My name is Clara, and for a decade, I was a stay-at-home mom, living a life that felt like a faded photograph, dull, predictable, and trapped in a frame I couldn't escape. At 42, I'd been married to David for 15 years, and the last 3 of those, we'd slept in separate bedrooms. Our home in a quiet suburban neighborhood had become a silent battleground of indifference. My days revolved around chores, cooking, and raising our 11-year-old daughter, Mia, tasks that once brought me joy but had long since turned into a numbing routine. The wake-up call came one rainy afternoon. Mia, usually sweet but lately distant, snapped at me after I asked about her homework. "You don't get it, Mom. You don't do anything all day. Just leave me alone." Her words hit me like a slap. I stood there, stunned, as she stormed off to her room. That night, I cried into my pillow until my chest ached, feeling hollowed out. David didn't notice. He rarely did anymore. But Mia's outburst was the crack in the dam I couldn't ignore. I had to change. The next morning, I dug out an old compact of blush and a tube of lipstick, both years past their expiration, and did my best to make myself presentable. I slipped into a navy dress I'd once loved, now slightly snug, and took a shaky selfie. On a whim, I posted it to an online forum with the caption, "43 and starting over. Any tips?" Within hours, the responses flooded in. Most were brutal. "You look like a tired mom's stereotype. Lose some weight, hun. That dress is a crime." The cruelty stung, but buried among the insults was a gem from a user called Brightleaf. "Get a job, refresh your wardrobe, move your body, love yourself first. It's the only way forward." That advice stuck. Step 1. Employment. I hadn't worked since Mia was born, but I was done drifting. After weeks of applications, I landed 2 part-time gigs, a cashier at a local grocery store, $900/month, and an early morning bakery delivery driver, $400/month. The hours were grueling, but the paycheck was mine. I told Mia the night before my first shift, "I won't be here for breakfast. Cereal's in the pantry. You're old enough to handle it." Her eyes widened. "Who's driving me to school?" I smiled gently. "It's a 10-minute walk. You've got this." She pouted, then mumbled, "I didn't mean what I said, Mom. I'm sorry." I hugged her, but I knew apologies wouldn't undo years of being unseen. David barely noticed my new routine until 3 days in, when he came home early and found me unloading groceries after a shift. "Where have you been?" he demanded, arms crossed. "Working," I said, shrugging off my jacket. "You didn't think to tell me?" he shot back. I met his gaze, unflinching. "You didn't notice I was gone for 3 days. Why would I think you'd care?" He flinched, then grumbled about Mia's unfinished homework. "She's your daughter too," I replied coolly. "Help her yourself." He stormed off, but I felt a spark of something new, power. A month later, my first paychecks arrived. I split the money, savings, bills, and a small treat. I took Mia for burgers and bought her a sketchbook she'd been eyeing. Her face lit up. "You earned this, Mom?" she asked. I nodded. "It's hard work, kiddo, up at 4 a.m., hauling bread in the dark. Worth it, though." She looked at me differently after that, like she was seeing me for the first time. The physical toll was real. I dropped 30 pounds from the constant movement, but the mental shift was bigger. I posted another selfie online. 1 month working. What's next? The responses were kinder this time. "You're glowing." "Keep it up," Brightleaf chimed in. "You're on fire. Don't stop." Encouraged, I bought a new jacket and some mascara, small upgrades that felt like victories. Then my mother-in-law, Evelyn, showed up unannounced. She'd always treated me like a servant, expecting me to cook and clean for her on her whims. She eyed Mia's new sketchbook and sneered. "Finally working, huh? Better than lounging around." Mia piped up. "Mom works hard, Grandma." Evelyn ignored her, critiquing my simple dinner of pasta and salad. "No meat? Mia needs protein." I shrugged. "It's what I had time for. Join us this weekend. I'll grill." She huffed but didn't argue. David, meanwhile, started acting strange, coming home earlier, hovering. One night, he cornered me. "Mia's teacher called. Her grades are slipping. You're too busy to care. I laughed bitterly. Funny how it's only my job when you've got free evenings. He backed off, but Evelyn kept meddling, hinting I should clean her house again. I shut it down. I work full-time now. Hire someone. David suggested I go anyway. I suggested he do it. He didn't. At work, I met Lila, a vibrant 48-year-old cashier who radiated confidence. She became my mentor, sharing tips on style and self-worth. "You're not just doing this for them," she said one day over coffee. "It's for you." She revealed she was leaving for a better job and offered to train me as her replacement. A bookkeeping role with a higher salary. "Study for a basic accounting cert," she urged. "I'll back you up." I quit the delivery gig and dove into studying, juggling work and flashcards. Mia joined me, turning it into a game. "If I ace my test, you owe me ice cream. If you pass, I'll draw you a picture." We shook on it. 2 months later, I passed the certification exam and stepped into Lila's role. My income doubled, and I shed another 15 pounds from stress and skipped meals. Online, my followers grew. Women inspired by my journey from frumpy to fierce. Mia bragged to her friends, "My mom's cooler than yours." Even David softened, muttering, "You're different now." I didn't care what he thought anymore. Then came the bombshell. During lunch with Lila at a trendy café, I overheard a familiar voice at the next table, a woman laughing, flirting. It was David, with a younger woman named Tara, a co-worker I vaguely remembered. She cooed about her daughter, Ellie, and David promised to buy her a dollhouse. My stomach twisted. For years, I'd suspected infidelity, but lacked proof. Now here it was, casual and cruel. He wouldn't splurge on Mia, but he'd spoil Tara's kid. I didn't confront them. I couldn't. Not yet. I vented online anonymously. Found out my husband's cheating. What now? The advice ranged from "leave him" to "you drove him away." Brightleaf's response cut deepest. "Stay if you must, but use him until you're ready to go. Build your strength." I decided to bide my time. Lila left, and I thrived in my new role, saving every penny. My online presence exploded. Women asked for fashion tips, admired my resilience. I hired an assistant, a former marketer named Jen, to manage my accounts. She thrived too, saying, "You gave me purpose again." I kept learning, photography, editing, building a future I controlled. One night, Evelyn visited, griping about pizza for dinner. Mia defended me. "Mom's busy. Dad doesn't buy me stuff. Why don't you yell at him?" David walked in with a cheap toy for Mia, a transparent ploy. Evelyn fawned over him. I retreated to work. Later, David slipped into my bed, whispering, "Let's fix us." "Maybe another kid?" I pushed him off, revolted. "Who's Tara?" I asked. His face crumpled. "A fling. It's over. I love you." I demanded his financial transparency, bank cards, house title. He balked, proving it was about control, not love. "Divorce it is," I said. He laughed nervously, then begged. But I was done. I rented a cozy apartment and told Mia, "Dad and I are splitting. You'll always have me." She cried, terrified of abandonment, but I promised, "I'll never leave you." David fought dirty, hiding assets, demanding I get nothing. I let him keep the house. I'd rebuild. He wanted Mia. I bluffed. "Fine, I'll remarry. You raise her." He panicked, knowing he'd neglect her. Evelyn called, accusing me of betrayal, demanding repayment for years of support. I hung up. Then Lila, Brightleaf, revealed she had cancer. I visited her daily, nursing her through recovery. She'd followed me online, seen my pain, and chosen to lift me up. "You saved me too," she said. With her husband Mark's support, we became family. One day, at a diner, I saw David, Tara, Evelyn, and Mia in a chaotic fight. Evelyn and Tara clawing at each other, David slapping Tara. I took Mia away, vowing to reclaim custody. Henry fought, demanding $300,000 for Mia, exposing his greed online. I shared our story, his betrayal, his threats, turning public opinion against him. Tara left, Evelyn crumbled, and David caved, settling for a pittance. Mia came home. Lila recovered, and we traveled together, free. I'd wasted years, but I'd stood up. My story's for anyone who's drowned and dared to rise. Keep fighting. You're enough.
If Clara's journey from despair to triumph hit you right in the feels, smash that thumbs up. It means everything to us. Loved watching her shut David down with his own lies? Hit subscribe for more stories of grit and payback. And hey, we're dying to know. What would you have done hearing that betrayal in the cafe? Called him out on the spot or let it simmer for the perfect takedown? Spill your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get into it.